Well. If you are looking to take your instructional design skills to the next level, this video is for you. So thank you for clicking on it. If you've been following us for a while, you'll see that we have a very big emphasis on human-centered design and putting the needs of your learner, the people that you're going to train, at the heart of your solution and designing something that's useful for them, not what you think your organization needs them to have or what you as a learning designer or L&D person think you need to give them so that they can do their job better, more efficiently, be more productive. It's not about that. It's about going and talking to them and seeing what's going wrong, what's not working right now, and how can we get you to the performance standard or contributing as quickly as possible to lift those standards, if that is even the case, because sometimes it might be that there is something broken or they don't have the system they need, and that's what human-centered design is all about. It's about figuring out what the needs of your end user are so you can create a solution that is right for them and works and gets results. Now, lots of industries have been using this for quite some time. There's the product industry. There's basically, they're going out and finding out what it is that people need so they can launch something successfully at the end of it. Now, we have been experimenting with human-centered design for about 2 years on our learning projects. Finally, we have a one-place process that's systemized how we approach human-centered design for all of our solutions that we're creating with clients, whether they are face-to-face, whether it is e-learning, whether it's just instructional design. And I am excited to share with you basically the Human-Centered Design Playbook, which is for instructional designers and learning and development professionals. This is basically us having experimented with human-centered design for the last 2 years, putting it in place with clients, testing it out, reworking it, see what works, what language do we need to use, what's useful from other industries, what's not useful, and shaping it into something that is very practical for people like us and for you to complement your instructional design toolkit. Now, this toolkit, we've designed it in a way that is practical. It is literally, that's what it is. This is a to-do list. It tells you for your creative conversation up in that analysis phase. This is the preparation guide. So it tells you who to invite to the conversation, what you're going to need, how long you're going to need, and the template that you will physically fill out, whether you're writing it or you're typing into it, because it's a PowerPoint so that basically anyone can use it as long as you have PowerPoint. And there's some tips in there like challenge assumptions. Ask them, what evidence do we have to know that it is true? So we've included some sort of scripts in there to help you have the right language to frame, to engage, and have buy-in from your stakeholders so that your solution is co-created with them and gets you better results. The other thing that we have in there is, running actual sessions. So that particular one there, these are the instructions for running an empathy mapping exercise with your stakeholders. But the thing about the playbook is that you don't have to go and do things with clients. Sometimes we don't have access to them. When I say clients, I mean your organization that you work within, or you might be a vendor or a partner, a consultant, a freelancer. So when I say clients, I mean your customer, whoever that is for you. So this tells you how to run it, and you can do it yourself. The thing is, if you don't have access to your customer or your client, you need to do these activities yourself because it will put your solution in a better place. So you create something that is very valuable for the end user. So this one, it tells you like these are all the steps, basically how long it's going to take, and those little post-its are examples. So at the end, when this solution is created, we want people to say, I feel confident to hold effective performance conversations. So we've got a little running example around performance conversations and leadership skills throughout that are filled into the templates to show you the expectations of what you should be capturing in your templates along the way. So you are clearly we're trying to clarify expectations for you so you know exactly what it is you need to get at the end of running each of the activities so that you can create a better solution. So It's about 72 pages. It's quite comprehensive. We have been refining it. We will continue to refine it over time as we continue to experiment with it. But I guess what it kind of does is it sets the scene. It tells you about the value of HCD. It gives you examples up front. It talks about the consequences, okay? If you are looking to apply this straight away to a project, great. Or it's really good if you want to use it as a portfolio piece, an experiment. So you identify a project and then it lets you help identify the benefits of your project. You actually have a template where you'll fill that out. It talks about identifying the consequences of not solving your problem the right way, and it helps you craft a script to influence stakeholders of why a human-centered design approach is important. Because I think sometimes that's the hard part for us as learning designers, is they want us to just put a band-aid on there. They just want to tick the box. They want us to just create something and not actually look at, are we solving the right problem? So this helps you really craft a script that you can say to your boss, to your stakeholders, to the executive teams of, let's take a step back, do this process properly, solve the right problem, because then it gives the organization better return on investment overall. So it helps you script that. We've got, what else? Creative conversation. So a lot of human-centered design falls into the analysis phase of what you do as an instructional designer or an L&D practitioner, right? So a lot of this stuff happens up front. So you're talking to people where you are trying to figure out, what does success look like? The complementary thing to this is that project brief questions that we have on the Creator Hub, which you can download for free. So those kinds of questions what does it mean to the learner, to the budget controller? All of those analysis questions are asked in this creative conversation. And these are the things that you need to know up front before you can move forward. You identify your success statement. It helps you, gives you an example, template for that, helps you understand the importance of user interviews. There's actually guides on how to do that. There's templates for you to fill out when you're doing your user interviews, as well as user observations. Same thing, a guide on what a good one looks like, what you should be trying to get out of that, templates for you to use. User persona, we've got a really cool user persona template in there that's been crafted from all the different things that we've wanted to capture as we've run these activities with clients. And then basically a template that you output at the end that gathers all of your data. It helps you communicate this. You can do it with your client, as I said, or you can do it yourself. As a bare minimum, these things you need to be doing yourself. This is the end-to-end process as well that I'm going through now, the HCD process that we use with our clients, that you can use as well. So then it explains divergent versus convergent thinking. This is a thing in design thinking where it's like, go all out there. If anything was possible, no budget constraints, all that kind of stuff, what would you come up with? And then it's about convergence. So how are those going down, 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 and selecting from those ideas that you've come up with, what ones actually help you achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve with this project or your initiative. There is an empathy map prep guide and instructions on how to run that activity. Then there's a template for that, how to brainstorm, how to vote on solutions. And what you're doing with human-centered design is you're moving towards a prototype, which if I go back to this, we do the discovery, which is gaining a deep understanding of your project goal and users. You brainstorm solutions, which is what we've just been going through there. And then you prototype and test. So you create a prototype, which is a mock-up, a cheap, a quick and dirty kind of approach to an indicator of what your solution might be like. And then you go test it and you keep refining, iterating. So this is, if you look at SAM or ADDIE, those iterative agile approaches, that's what's happening here. And then you release that solution to the world. So then it talks about how do you actually do prototyping, there's a guide for that. There's user testing questions, the questions that you can ask your users when you've got a prototype and you go, hey, have a play. How does this work for you? And then you can observe them in action, or you can ask them questions. Again, there's all scripts within these templates, so it tells you specifically what you should be asking people to get the right data. Things like, is it time for an open-ended question, or is it time for a closed-ended question? Or how do you deep dive to understand on a more in-depth level, specifically that change in behavior that you witnessed when they had a reaction to something as part of your solution, or where they got stuck when they were trying to interact with your solution. So that's pretty much what it is. That's it in kind of a 4-phase type thing. It's our playbook. We literally apply this to all of our solutions now, whether we are running that with clients. Some of the activities, like if you think about an empathy map, you can jot that down in 15 minutes. The creative conversation is probably the biggest part, and that's like an hour, and that's if you're with your client. Otherwise, it's a max half-hour conversation over the phone. And what you do over time is you start to realize how much time you use. So the times in there are what we use, and we move fast. We're getting an indicator because not always do we have the scope to go really, really in depth, but we are allowing the space for us to do these activities. So as long as you get a taster, you're in a better place. So what challenges does human-centered design help you with as an L&D practitioner or an instructional designer? Well, it will definitely help you create higher return on investment. You are solving the right problem. You're able to make connections between the problem that you're solving and how it contributes to the organization at a bigger level. It also really helps you as a designer or a practitioner to know your worth and the value that you bring to an organization. I think that's been a big thing for us. If you think about the language of you're a service provider, you're an executioner, you execute on stuff, you're a doer, you're not really. If you think about the whole L&D, take a seat at the table, you are there as part of the strategy team. You are driving results, and that's what human-centered design has allowed us to do, to be valued by our clients, to appreciate that we contribute. We're not just taking an order and delivering something back to them. We're helping them solve some systematic problems in their organization. The other thing is it'll help you master the skills and complement your ID skills really well. You can go out and Google and figure this stuff out for you because it's all on Google for free. And that's initially how we started, was just Googling, finding things on IDEO, the HubSpot persona tool. All these things are available on Google for free. Go out there, read the blogs, watch the videos if you want to. If you don't want to, the Playbook is the tool for you because we've done all that research for you. We've experimented, figured out which ones work better than others, and put them into the Playbook so it's just ready to go. I think one of the key things that it does is helps you influence stakeholders. So if you struggle with that, human-centered design really allows you to become a partner, to just really go together on the journey, not an us and them. And I think that happens because when you have the conversations that are in the playbook and you're running the workshops, you are bringing them on the journey too. They are co-creating the solution. So that buy-in is there and they feel emotionally connected and proud of the work just like you will. And it helps you go together on the journey as opposed to just being this thing to help deliver something and you do it behind the scenes. And I think that's how you get a better creative solution, not creative solution, but a better solution that actually solves the problem and helps with the needs of what your learners actually need, not what's nice to have or what you think they need as an organization. I guess as well, a big thing is like it helps you do that change behavior component because you're in there really looking at the actions. What would someone do differently? When you're doing the interviews, you're hearing from the people that you're designing for. What are the problems? What do they need help with? When you're observing them in their workplace, like if you physically go there and watch them use a machine or do their first week of time in an organization when they're being inducted, you can see the challenges, you can see the struggles that they have, you can see what success looks like, and you can really dig in to figure out what's broken or what's not connected properly and get to where you need to be. So we are really, really excited about the playbook. We have put a lot of effort into it. If you want to get it, you can go over to creatorhub.belvistastudios.com. The link will be in the description. It is a paid product, but I definitely recommend you just go check it out and see if it's for you. I think it will really complement your ID skills, and it is pretty much the toolkit for the rest of your career. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching. Be legendary and inspire your learners.